What's up? Welcome to today's collective video. I am glad you're here with me, and we're going to be reading cards, read the energy, see what's up. I have a lot of different cards, so hopefully there will be a huge kind of variety of what's up, describing it to get the main gist for everyone. You're going to receive what you need from this video in a way that will enhance your life. And it's intended to really elevate your mood, to just show that your presence right now is admired by those around you in ways where it instills, interestingly enough, a nudge in way of insecurity where it's almost like people are reminded about moving on with life in ways where they haven't, and you have made it almost like a career. And it's so cool because it's something where you yourself are like, you had to do it in order for you to survive whatever you did, which, first and foremost, job well done. Surviving, just being alive right now, that's the very first thing to acknowledge is you have made it through so much. Like, I don't know what else it is except other people's outside opinion, just being obstacles that doesn't need to be there. And this really cool thing is you can choose to forgive and caring at all of existence in way of whoever else's opinion in whatever else's way trying to control your life, trying to control you, trying to control what you focus on outside of you. So we're going to start with the spread. I never really do spreads, but I'm going to try to do it more. What are you healing now from is going to be the first question. If you're curious, usually when it comes to, well, not usually, I don't know, usually, but when I first started actually getting into tarot and oracle and doing it on my own for my own self, it was interesting for me in my whole journey, but how I really kind of emphasized was using spreads, questions that were already made up in way, almost like you're doing a journal prompt or entry, and it's already a question that someone else has already written. And I just use cards for me. But anyway, so I don't know why I wanted to share that with you, but I did. So the start, it's something about like the start of something new. You have to get to yourself in way of being aware of you at the very beginning of the start of wherever you're at right now, where you are like in the midst of it. So already it's something about having to ground into realization of who you are now. And this, like, what is kind of holding you back is the, how would I put it? Your perspective is still like your glasses and way of you looking out, the vision. It's not 2020, it is 2010. You know what I mean? It's like, because it's like 2025 right now, the year, and it'll be different as the video is put up online and just years progress and everything. But I feel like a grandpa. I mean, maybe I do feel like a grandpa. Like, I don't know what grandpas feel like, to be honest. But whatever. I give major grandpa vibes, like, to be quite honest. Anyway, that's just me. That's just me. But I'm getting like with the energy, it's something about how whatever vibe you give right now, it kind of is emphasizing a certain time period, like a certain age that you were, or something about people prominent back then for you. It's like you using their like inspiration that you received back then as a way to revive you in a certain way of like confidence in accepting who you are is enough. Whether it's different or not doesn't matter. you accepting that you're enough as you are is like revolutionary. The sacred three sing in all directions. So definitely someone, it's like you have went through some kind of war, if you will, within yourself of ego and spirit, where it's like the spirit is more so community. So it's like yourself versus community. How do you allow yourself to have balance of you and have balance of community? Work and personal life is coming through as well, where the community would be work and the personal would be self. And then you have to think about also, if you are someone who is a parent, are you yourself as an individual getting your own time, your own separation, what you need for yourself to feel as though you're filling your own cup up first, if you will? It's really important, though, truth be told, where sometimes when it comes to parenthood, I totally get it when it gets to be a point where it's like too much and you have to like separate and you have to just find space, because it's also you have to take care of yourself. You yourself have an inner child, you yourself have a inner younger you in the perspective where you went through things that were strugglesome. They were troublesome, they're struggle, where it really separated the whole thing where everyone has a right, period, point blank. Like their presence is in of itself perfect enough. And that is of you too, and me as well. Everything outside of you, if you feel like it needs to be different, that's something where that's actually from within you, where you see yourself in a way where you being different is not okay. And that's actually the whole contradiction, is it is okay to be different because the world in of itself is different. You look outside of you, nothing is the same. Nothing. Period, point blank. Yeah, difference is a real thing. And it's very important to be aware of. Honor yourself and your own differences in ways of how you yourself change the entire vibe of the room. And I love it when I meet people like this, where they themselves are so knowing of their own persona, their own sense of how to be a person in a room, that I love getting inspiration from them. Like the confidence, especially because I am a woman and I um, am someone that loves confident women. Women who are just like super confident in what they want and speaking their opinion and getting what it is that they need and desire in the moment. And they take up space and they use their voice to change and make things different. I myself am just like, wish I could be like SpongeBob and just consensually hug them and just suck up if I can. If they consensually give me some of their nourishment. Because that in of itself, when you see especially a woman who isn't afraid to stand up and voice her opinion, that's hot. God of thunder, Tyrannus, and lightning. God of thunder and lightning, Tyrannus. Makes me also think of Thor with his hammer, but also not, but coming through. Yeah, it's something about it where it's like, okay, how can you allow yourself to think in way of your own judgment and way of other people? How can you allow yourself to not act on the judgment, forgive it in way of what is you looking at yourself in way of judging? Oh, excuse me. Ooh. Yeah, it's totally come through with me. So what it is I'm getting is like your insecurity in a way where you yourself feel like out, like let's say in a group of people, right? You're gonna kind of come into a moment where you're gonna be uncomfortable within yourself. This is the most beautiful place to be, okay? Uh, all right, hear me out. When you're like feeling super insecure and you're like, you don't know how to act, it's something about you don't really want to ever be seen, that's where it is where you want to be seen. And it's something about honoring and staying true to who you are as a person. Because it's something where, as a person, we are all different, okay? Our opinions are different, the way that we choose to live life, every single minute, every single moment is different. And it's not about comparing of another in way of how someone else is doing better than you. It's about allowing yourself to see, dang, I've done all this work. And I would say there's a lot of great improvement. I'm very, very surprised as to how successful I am right now. In the places where you feel sorry for yourself, try to allow yourself to forgive and waive the pityness, because same, I'd be complaining. Okay. And allow yourself to take a step back and see, how can you focus on appreciating you in the moment and forgetting about whoever else you want to complain about. Period, point blank. All right. So we have surrender. What are you healing from right now? So it looks like when it comes to the first one, denial, right? Procrastination and ways of, yes, it's really nice to be able to like clearly read other people. I run into this as a reader myself, where I need to ground a lot more as I continue to make videos and gain attention on my YouTube channel and have more people get attracted to this, my vibe and everything. I have to gain a lot more focus and concentration every day and way of grounding, y'all, and way of surrendering what it is not mine, and way of responsibility of holding on to, which is outside of me, what I cannot control. And that is, if you will, something you can do too. All right. What I do right now, currently, and you can see it in my shorts videos, but I like to go to the park, love to read right now, sometimes bring microphone, if you will, if I have it handy. A setup and way of filming sometimes. I use the phone to capture the vibe, and I just like, I'm in the vibe, if you will. Like I'm in kind of a party and a rave and a club. Like it's nothing crazy. It's the park, it's nature. You know what I mean? But what is crazy, right, is the changes within me. Oh my gosh, y'all. I kid you not. I go to therapy. I've gone to therapy for so long. When I go to nature, when I'm in the park, it's so interesting as to how separated I feel from the crazy box full of crayons of society, of literally just driving like on a road. For me is just overwhelming sometimes, where I'm learning certain days, like, well, certain days, for one, I don't really like to drive. For two, certain time periods, I'm like, okay, let me just stay in the park a little bit longer, avoid rush hour, avoid that hecticness, and then, do whatever. That's in way an example of how to control what is the chaos outside from controlling you in your own chaos. Where I could choose to get on the road during rush hour, I know that if I'm in it, I would rather not be in it. You know what I mean? So it's something very interestingly enough coming through with your job for realsies, though, is the world wants you to better yourself. And if your job is not something where it makes you feel better and it helps you feel more bitter, allow yourself to see about the options, because everyone, no matter where you're at in life, I need you to know that there are options and opportunities for you right in this very moment for you to gain so much more in way of finances and way of one thing is you have to look at the past in way of gratitude. Your job currently, if you do have it, some amazing moments, keep that going in way of those moments and the momentum as you continue to search for better opportunities. Two, there's skills that you have in the creativeness I'm getting that can definitely be needed in way of you in your own in way of creativity, where you yourself present in way of creative projects, in way of literally your presence within whatever you put out there, if you will, has so much of needed in the now authentic nourishment that if you're able to create from an authentic place where it feels good for you, it'll help out in way of other people receiving it. Okay, cool. What are your higher self, or what is your higher, man, what your higher self is telling you? Anger and rage, same Z. Anger and rage is a really beautiful emotion. Okay, it's something where like irritation is a spark of inspiration when it comes to passion within rage and anger. So you have a reason why, and it's this reason is so important. And it's part of you where you got done wrong by people in way of love, where it instilled something where it's like you changed entirely in way of how you see people, period, point blank. Like it evolved you before you were ready to evolve, if you will. It made you realize about what the world really is outside of your comfort zone before you even knew you had a comfort zone. I don't know how else to say, but it took your innocence for granted. Whoever did, whatever did, really instilled in a way where it's beautiful to learn of boundaries for this reason. With anger and rage, it's natural to feel. What is needed to understand is intelligence of emotional intelligence is really, really needed for anger and rage to be handled differently because you're in a state where you have to get yourself under control. And I understand. I am so there with you when you get out of body, so much so from things done to you, where like no person is born into this state. Okay. This is done where other people have done you wrong. And I, for one, have your back. All right. And I will protect in way of like, it's kind of like we got Charlie's Angels, you know what I mean? Doo, 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 doo. Boo, 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 boo. Whatever. But there's something where with anger and rage, how to deal with it really is to realize that within you is serious. Outside of you, in way of whoever wants to test the waters, okay? Whoever wants to put their hand in the cage of a lion, they can. Whoever wants to get in between a mama moose, and her baby moose, you know what I mean? Whoever wants to get in between a mama bear and a baby bear? Sure, they can. That's outside of you, right? Whatever makes you angry, whatever makes you rageful is outside of you, not inside of you, okay? The anger and rages, that's you. And all of us, we all have anger, we all rage, we all handle it differently. That's the beauty. You know what I mean? Like, people might be putting glitter. Me, spice. You know what I mean? Salt and pepper. Name a better duo. Okay, whatever. but it's not, okay? But I'm for realsies serious though about within you what you control emotionally, all right? That also helps you in way of thoughts, in way of beliefs. Another thing coming through is belief based. If there is a belief system, allow that belief system to emphasize on emotions that are allowing you to be feeling better about your decisions, about how you handle yourself with other people, interactions. You can think of the word, okay, like I guess I like have it, I'm spelling it out in my mind, right? But inter space, you can like put a dot, if you will, in between, and then actions, okay? Inter, you can think of that as beliefs. Beliefs, space, actions. Interactions, when you see someone, you're going to be judging them, all right? You're going to be like, ooh, and you're going to be like, ah, and you're going to be like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. What is that? That is your ego. That is something of you want, you desire first. It's something as a human being. Human being. Ego, and then like being, right? So the human in us desires more than always. We always want better. You always want something better for you, and I want that for you. I know miraculously, what? I don't want anything from you. I want something for you, which is better for you. And like whatever outside of you, of like whoever says whatever in way of instilling insecurity that you're not enough just the way you are to get what you want and desire, whatever. We have to instill right now for you, realizing right now you got it. You got it in the bag. Whatever you want and desire, you put it out there in your mind, right? You get those emotions feeling good, like, dang, you know what? I do deserve that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do deserve that. So surrender, anger, and rage. And I know it's like, what? It can't be that simple. Just watch. It's as simple as taking a dump. Literally, you naturally know how to poo poo. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You know what I mean? You naturally know how to do this. You naturally know how to surrender. I, though, need you to understand, okay, in this whole natural sense, you are intelligent. You are someone who is very smart. You're someone who is very wise. You are someone where people literally who you look up to compete with you because you are so wise. You are so smart of your own self, where you also catch on in ways of their own selves, of their own insecurities. And it's okay. Because one thing about insecurities, it's like, okay, I don't know if this is a real, not okay sickness, but like influenza, insecurities, okay? It really instates in the individual that someone isn't enough alone when one is totes magoats enough alone to be beautiful, to be successful, to be like enough, whatever you want, y'all. Like for me, I'm enough right now to be like a YouTuber. I'm enough in a way of like guiding people where it's just like something also allow yourself to know where it's like allowing yourself to see that what you put out there is for you, period. Like it will be others in way of influence, yes, but it's going to be you, period. So like even if you do put yourself out there and you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that, allow yourself to realize that's silly too, okay? Where you in the past decided stuff, whatever. Okay. We all decide so many different decisions. If you allow yourself to look at all of that, it'll just be so funny to get worked up in way of getting angry, right? Over what you did differently. That now you're like, okay, I have learned how to be better. I have practice in way of being better. And allow yourself to keep doing that. Allow yourself to keep instilling in way of like saying, I am enough to practice in way of being better. I am enough in way of the noting the success from the constant practicing. Okay? Because you are enough. And I'm so proud of you. Like, job well done. So, now the true question I'm getting, all right, before I go to the next question. Ooh, okay. What past trauma is still unresolved? Okay. What I'm getting is there's something about still very interesting, like, it still hasn't kind of felt, I don't know how else to say it, but like, it still hasn't felt like it's clicked in a way where certain manifestations that you've been working on for a while, why it hasn't felt like you're getting a lot of headway in way of that. Ooh, seeing. Okay, cool. So perspective, right? Are you looking at yourself right now through a past perspective where you are in more of a younger version voice, where you're speaking out some kind of truth in the now, but is it actually tangible truth? Period, point blank. Oof. I get it, right? You get caught up in way where you have thoughts and they instill like irritation at first, and then you start like kind of going down a rabbit hole, and you like start to see yourself in the now in way of less than. Totally interestingly enough, getting tripped up by things in the now that distract you, remind you of the past in ways where the past was disappointing. And you're trying really hard to clean up yourself from the past so that now in the now, the areas of the past that was disappointed in the future, it'll be so much cleaner, right? But it's like hard because the distraction is all the dirty stuff that still needs to be cleaned up, right? And you're like, what? It's all right. Trust in this, trust in it, okay? Because, yo, so much has already happened that, like, I totally get it in way where you're like, it's the confusion of time and when things happen, all right? You're like, why do things happen? It's something about it where it's like really good things happen and then really bad things happen. And you're like, why do things like that happen? Hmm. So just keep that like up there, okay? What is your current obstacle? You know what, though? What just came through my mind literally is it's not in way for you to question because this is outside of you and you just, it's not in your capability, y'all. Okay? That's first and foremost. We have to accept that what we're capable of in the future is ourselves. And how we handle ourselves, RN, right now, NOW, is like, okay, it's enough. It's an order. You are doing exactly what you need to be doing in order for your manifestations to come through absolutely successful, right? You have to allow yourself to have that emphasis of confidence and trusting what isn't there yet, but you feel it. Oh, you feel it. Can you play with those feelings? Oh boy, you play with those feelings. What is your current obstacles? Memories, right? There's a lot of memories. And I get when you're like, F the past. I get it. Me too. Like, you know that Me Too movement? Same. There's a lot of things in the past where I'm like, now I don't really like to be touched. Actually, I prefer not to be touched. Now I go to nature. Now I heal. So there is a lot for me too in way of dark. And I'm getting that you're someone who has made a lot of friends in the dark places in ways where you see now that in terms of hating outside of you, it's something about it where it's like you yourself can get that understanding that allowing yourself when you don't like outside of you to separate in way of caring at all, where that's more important than you in way of focusing and way of mattering, allow yourself to just walk away, reinstate your own self autonomy of importance in way of you being of very important matter, where you have an actual purpose, yes, of being different in the very moment in way where whoever whatever sends out so uncomfortability or so much uncomfortable like energy into the air where it's like making your differences uncomfortable, like that's what's coming through, that allowing yourself to just forgive it because it's not okay. You're the target, all right? They just wanted to practice in way of giving out something that is already making them miserable, all right? It's like weird, but it's very interesting in way of if you're able to intellectualize yourself in way of handling energy, okay? You're able to see it does not matter of holding on to other people in way of caring of their own existence because it's gonna be taken care of here point blank, baby. Are you though? Dun dun dun. That's right. Are you gonna be taken care of? Right? If you're so focused on someone else outside of you and way of how they think life should be, how are you being in life right now? Not being life, are you? Gotta get back to you. Okay? Like when you were in school, going from because when I grew up, it was preschool to kindergarten, which would be the start of elementary school, and then middle school, and then they also called it junior high, and then high school for me, and then college or university, right? So it's something where not everyone gets college and university, okay? And I do see a lot of people who like they don't really truly think they're intellectual because they haven't gone to college or university. And here's the true hilariousness of it is I find that people who are in more blue collar jobs are far wiser in way of interacting with life itself compared to people who are in college and universities who get like diplomas and everything where I have like my associate's degree. I've gone into college, I've done university. I've also like just worked as a janitor and I find that I learned a lot more about life and everything and where I want to go career wise when I just listen to audiobooks cleaning toilets compared to professors in, classes. So if you are someone who like has dropped out of school or whatever, like have no fear in way where there is so many millionaires, billionaires that have made it in their own way on social media for one, who have dropped out of college or whatever, where that whole institution, that whole system is based off of competition, period, point blank. And this is my own opinion. But individuals are there to learn for like one's own self to expand. And a lot of that is in that system is to diminish one's own self so that the voice of whatever kind of institution and way of certification where they're like, this, you are now whatever, right? You yourself, whatever you're in, okay? Whatever outside of you is trying to tell you of how you are in way of acceptance. Period point blank. What I need you to do is set some filter system and way of boundaries where it allows you to filter out the BS in way of whatever human being wants to egoically, desirably sacrifice you knowingly in order for them to gain whatever they want. All right? There's a lot of memories I'm getting where like egoically insulting. You have every right to be angry. You have every right to feel the rage where your life is important. And I want you to be able to be aware that honoring your life sends waves to those who are not honoring theirs. The caregiver. You are in control, my friend. And I need you to be. I need everyone in the world to be in control of their own selves because, in the natural order of life itself, life, like human beings, we are also part of life itself. Your world is you first. All right. What part of your soul will be reclaimed? The caregiver. All right. So, inner child issues, shadow work issues, dealing with anger and rage, totally understandable. It is something where you, like, individually, we all have to understand how to handle anger and rage differently because it's such an intense, passionate emotion that is used in way of inspiration, right? So, memory wise, like for me, I use it in way where I like go work out, I go hit the bag, like, or I call it go hit the bag, but I punch a punching bag. I like sing. It's something about like exerting that energy of anger and rage in a way where it's like a songwriter writing a song and it's like Doechii writing Alter Ego. I don't know if Doechii, because I'm pretty sure Doechii collabed with someone else in the song. I gotta say, that song, if I could have an alarm to wake up to, that would probably be it. Also, on my like funeral, like when I die or whatever, one, I'm so planning my funeral. I know it's like what? It's like planning your birthday, y'all. It's like the way you're gonna kind of go out of life, you know what I mean? But alter ego is so gonna be when I go down. If I choose to like go in the ground, alter ego is gonna be playing as I go down in the ground. You know what I mean? And life in a way where, yeah, end it with a bang. hmm Like with the anger and rage, right? There is a point where you went through all that BS and we about to compost it in some way to get some delicious looking produce, delicious looking flowers, whatever it is that you want to see in the future of you. And whatever it is that really, whoever decided to go outside of their own selves to control in way of covering up truth. Time tells all tales of woe, of lies, of literally like humiliation of humanity. Like, so for you in your own humanity, right? Allow yourself to just give yourself a break when it comes to feeling guilty and judging yourself in way of past moments where you're like, man, that was embarrassing. It's all right. Know that every single person on earth has done embarrassing stuff, has humiliated one's own self. And when you do, know you're not alone in the very minute. Like literally in that minute, not only people are doing whatever they're doing, but in that minute, there's millions of people being humiliated just along with you. So you can just laugh along with it because really, though, okay, any kind of thought, anything that would make you feel humiliated, a belief like that is not a natural thing for you to have. You do not naturally believe in way of that, all right? So those are kind of beliefs also to be aware of, that those might not be yours and they are just conditioned in way of caregiver. I've totally been humiliated by my caregivers to a point where I have no problem calling out like, yo, I literally bled in my pants. Okay, I got my period and I went to the gym. And you bet I finished my workout. And then I went home. And then I realized, and I was like, you know what? Whatever. Like, it's not the first time someone has bled in the gym. It's not going to be the last time. You know what I mean? So you're not the first, you're not the last, right? With the anger rage, if you've acted in a way where you're like, oh my gosh, you're not the only one. It's all good. It's all good. Also, in places where you do that, out in public, again, you're not the only one out in public who act on their rage, act on their anger. All right. Thing though is what you do for acting in way of that, that's whatever you're gonna like have come back to you later on, whenever it does happen, which it will tell in the tale of time. Okay, like the test of time. It's a test, right? Like a test. That's right, y'all. You thought you were done with homework. No. Are you kidding me? No, no, no. Every single day is a day of school. Yeah. So, like, all the things in way of the teachers being like, don't do that, don't do that. Yeah, it's best to probably listen to them. You know what I mean? See what they were saying about don't do. I'm going to, you know what I mean? Anyway, but that's going to be the reading. That is the energy. I hope that helped. I hope that was a little bit much of a guide for you. I don't know, but thank you so much for sticking around. I'll see you in another video. Bye, y'all.